Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Into the Red Rabbit Hole. I'm Nighthawk, your host, and we got Eric backstage waiting in the shadows, like the creeper in the crypt. We're going to get through the disclaimer, and we're going to announce what the show is going to be all about here in a second. So hang tight. We're going to do the disclaimer and get it out of the way. This channel, Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the fair use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Now, Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content to be used for the sole purposes of informing you, the viewing family, of information for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value, because we're all about that on this channel, if you haven't noticed. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as Fair Use Act. All right, with that being said, I am going to put something else up on the screen because I don't want you all to really see me yet. I got some explaining to do, and I'm going to get it out there. Okay, now, how many of you out there have doubted what your existence is? Okay. And I don't mean doubted that you're actually alive, but doubt what you see or how you interact with things on a daily basis. Okay. We've seen videos online of people in tears saying that, oh, I'm a parts deliverer for, an auto parts store, and I delivered to this one garage, and I went in, and I thought I was being quiet, but the guy knew that I came in with the parts that he had ordered. And when he turned around, I gasped, and he just kind of chuckled, and he looked like a demon face. And apparently the auto parts guy goes back home, and he tells his family about what happened, and he does the history on it. He researches the guy's name and finds out the guy died about a month prior to him showing up at the garage. Imagine that, having a ghost sign for your auto parts and then make fun of you for being scared because you looked almost like a demon in the face. So that is really something. But I've got something that might explain that and other strange things, like the Mandela effect, the glitch in the matrix type of an effect, everything that is connected together. And it's like I've always said with everybody that tunes in from the family, that what we do is try to connect the dots. Okay, and this is just one more instance to where we try to connect the dots together to get to some kind of conclusion on basically why the hell we're here, okay, and why we're going through everything that we're going through, okay. And that's why I always end my podcast with question everything, because we should, as God gave us free will, to do that, okay, to question everything, to make sure that we are positive without a shadow of a doubt on doing certain things in this life, okay. Now, listen up, because this is something that they do not want disclosed at any cost, okay. And I'll repeat that. They, meaning the controlling cabal, call them what you want. You want to call them the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the ancient bloodline of the reptilian type of species. Call them what you want. You can call them the military-industrial complex, because we all know that what we call dragon people are the reptilians. They like bloodshed. They like loss of life. They like that turmoil, okay, that rage, okay? So that being said, consider all those things put together, okay, in the nutshell, and having your daily life interact with that stuff, okay? Things that you see in the sky that you question, things that you see in the shadows that you question, things that happen to you when you're quote unquote asleep that happen to you. I mean, it's just put it all together, lump it all together, and this is pretty much what I've come up with my research, and it is called the digital reality shift. I'll repeat that again: the digital reality shift. Okay, now we take things as they come. Being human, some things we get overwhelmed with. That's just human nature. That's the way it is. Catherine, good to see you. Stuart, good to see you, brother. There's that ED Testerman again. You gotta keep an eye on him. That's your
Heck
job.
yeah.
Keep an eye on ED. All right,
Always,
and
man. Always.
good evening, everybody. Good to see you all here. Um, Anyways, getting back to the digital reality shift. Now, the digital reality shift is kind of a combination of glitch in the matrix and the Mandela effect and MK Ultra and all that put into one group. Okay, put into one specific um, like a title to a story. Okay, is what the digital reality shift is. This is where every thought, every experience, every belief that you have in this life at this point in time in this life has been digitally influenced by them in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Now, you ask me, Nighthawk, what are you meaning that they're digitally, influencing us? And who are them? Them are the cabal. Them are the the, the SOBs that hang out at Bohemian Grove and elect who's going to be the president 20 years from now or 10 years from now. They do this stuff in advance. Okay, they do this stuff in advance because it doesn't matter. They give you this false illusion of having control over your life. You don't have any control over your life, okay? Unless you're strong enough to break that hold from the influences that are around you every day that you're being hammered with through electronic devices. Okay, now we're going to get into that. Okay, you are being controlled and manipulated by 5G and yes, 6G. Okay. You are being controlled and manipulated by AI, artificial intelligence. You are being controlled and manipulated by the government's black op projects of frequencies. Okay. Because sound frequencies, resonate certain feelings in people, certain fears, certain phobias, certain um, influences on what to buy and what not to buy, what to say and what not to say. Okay. Um, and also through subliminal imaging. And you say, well, that theory's been around for a while, Nighthawk. Why are you talking about that now? Well, subliminal imaging has changed drastically over the course of the last 70 years. Okay. If not more. All right. They were striving to get our generations after the World War II generation has gone and passed. They were striving to get rid of that World War II generation. The strongest and the most noble of generations, World War II, going into the Korean War, and then From there, they were planning on incorporating it long after World War II generation died off. Okay, we are at that cusp right now. Okay, um, and in fact, I think the last couple veterans of World War II are still alive, but once they're gone, that generation's gone. Okay, which makes the controllers think that they can implement their ideas and their schemes and plans a lot sooner through 5G and 6G. Yes, 6G is a thing. Okay. The military's been using 6G for over 4 years now, maybe 5. So, 6G is a thing. Okay. AI, everybody thought, oh, AI is not going to be that bad and da 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 da. Look at what you're having AI do to you on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, X. AI affects everything. AI is censoring you. Okay. AI has removed my posts on my social media and replaced it with a cert that is running for election as president. Think about that one. Okay. Everything that we do on a daily basis should be questioned. Okay. They have been programming your minds with every advancement of technology, whether it be cell phones, smart TVs, laptops. It started with radio stations and television and, that kind of stuff. They have made you believe that you have a choice in your own existence when in reality you don't. It started after the establishment of the Federal Reserve Bank. 1913 to 1933 were the prime years that they were starting to organize this group of cabal of people in powerful places that were setting up their family members and future family members to take over for them. That's how the bloodline continues. Okay. For instance, do you know that over 75% of all the presidents of the United States in the past and currently are related? Think about that. Everyone, 75% and more. Okay. Think about this. Spell the word life. What's life spell out? Life. Okay. Well, think about this. If there is an ancient AI that is running everything in autopilot and influencing it and has been influenced by the cabal to control our thoughts and our way of thinking, what we watch, what we eat, when we sleep, what we dream. In fact, the dream state is probably the state where it's dangerous the most because they can get to you in your sleep. Okay. I've said that 100 times before. Things can happen to your subconscious in your sleep that can kill you in your real life. Okay. Kind of like the wearing the VR visor, and thinking you're inside this game. Well, brothers and sisters, you are inside this game. Okay. And it is that. Okay. But it's not a game to the ones that are controlling it. Anyways, the word life spells file, File, like a computer file. Okay. Think about this. I've always said how we are connected to the earth. Okay. And I've always said that the drumbeat of the drumbeat of the drum for powwows and ceremony represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Okay. And that is the truth. Spell the word earth. Eric, spell the word earth.
EARTH.
Okay, now rearrange those letters, and what you have is HEAVY.
Heart.
Heart. Heart. Think about that. Let that soak in, everybody in the chat. Let that soak in. The word earth spells the word heart, which I have been trying to explain to people what Mother Earth is the whole time. Okay. She's a living, breathing thing, just like you and I. Okay. Everything is connected. I've said it millions of times. Okay. Now, the influencing part of it is just one factor. Okay. There's several other things that they're doing, and I've tried to explain this till I'm blue in the face. I really have. And with the ancient AI that's taken control and being influenced by ancient AI and current AI, along with all the technologies and stuff that they're coming up with, and the 5G and 6G networks, we've got a battle on our hands. Okay, and until you break free of their influences, you don't realize you're under their influence until you can break free from it. Okay, and the only thing I can tell you is at night, before I go to sleep, if I do sleep at all, I play frequencies. Okay, and I listen to frequencies for about a part of an hour every night. Okay, and we're talking 432, 528, on up to 693, 88, those kind of numbers, 777, which is God's number. Those kind of frequencies. Okay, they remove the parasites that they have put inside us. Okay, that also influence us, and our body is riddled with parasites. Okay, if you are one that you feel you are sluggish or lethargic, you don't have any energy and all that, odds are you've got a parasite that's off of you. Okay, and sometimes they can be supernatural, my brothers and sisters, trust me. Sometimes they can be supernatural. All right, every time you see something weird happening, whether it's a person that freezes up, that I sent out and I posted on my Facebook page. You see these things of these wrestlers. Well, take for instance the one wrestler that I sent out a post about, how he froze up completely and nobody could get him to reconnect to the matrix to get him going again. He was going to do an interview and he just completely disconnected, like a robot that died and the battery died because it was low. I mean, there's so many different things. They influence us by people like this pretending to be somebody they're not. Take a look at the resemblance. It's uncanny.
We can see your face now.
It's uncanny. And think about all the roles that individual has portrayed in his movies. Okay, all the different roles that he portrayed. All right, this is how they influence us, folks. Okay, and they do it very, very well. Look at his posturing when he walks compared to who. Okay, and I have analyzed this information for the last several, probably the last couple of weeks. I've been building up to this, and I got to tell you, it's something that affects everybody. And well, there it is in a nutshell, brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, but unless you break free, you're going to follow under the influence of it until the day you die and come back and do it all over again. So I don't know. Let's see what you all think.
I mean, it's got a good ring to it. I mean, it fits a lot of things that goes on. So I can't dispute it.
Yeah, the one thing I found out too, though, is the influences that we have in this world right now, currently, are purposely guiding us. Okay, they give us that little bit shred of information that we think that we have control of our lives, when in actuality, 99.8% of the time, they're in control. Okay, they're the ones that are so focused on us being the slave race and working to refill the finances of their Federal Reserve, to pay their taxes, okay, to eat their alleged food. Why do you think they want to manipulate the food now? 3D printed meat and chicken. Come on, guys. Do you want that?
Yeah.
Do you want to eat bugs? I mean, I ate bugs when I was in the military, but it was it was just a dare. Who the hell wants to eat bugs their whole rest of their lives? Okay. So my point of this is for this podcast to wake people the hell up. I don't know how the other means to say it. There is this overwhelming information that we've been spoon fed our entire lives. Okay. And like I said, they're waiting for the last of the great generation to die off, because then they have everything that they've been doing from that point on has been under their control and influence. So that means the population of this country and even other countries like the European Union will be able to be guided a lot easier without that other generation being around. See, they're dependent upon you forgetting your grandmother's recipes, for helping people through a depression. They're depending on you not remembering how to do your can. They're depending upon you on what medicines you're not going to remember to take, for certain ailments, and what herbal remedies there are for those ailments that you don't have to depend on pharmaceutical and big pharma. Big pharma is a big player in it too. Okay. You got to understand they have had a long time to get their bloodlines in position for this. Okay. They've had a long time for it, and they have succeeded. That's why all these countries are falling apart right now. Look what's going on all around the world. You got Israel and Iran, and Israel's bombing Lebanon, and threatening Iran, and doing this and that, and all for redemption of the seventh of the month slaughter that happened to the Israeli people. And I can understand that. I can understand it because I come from a place where my own ancestors were murdered, okay, literally unalived, okay, and I understand where they're coming from. I understand where even some of the Ukraine people are coming from, and even where some of the Russian people are coming from. I understand that, because you know why? We're only human. And this is the thing. They have figured out that if we are separated, think about this. If we are separated by race, color, creed, sexual orientation, male and female separation, mind separation from one another, like being separated from more than 6 feet to where we don't interact with other people's energy. They have this all thought out. They have had this thought out for a very long time. It's time to wake up. It's time to break free of that matrix. It's time to get your gets your vibrations going a lot higher than what they're trying to keep you low vibration to. Because the lower your vibration is, the more influence they have on you. And that's why they changed the musical tuning frequency from 432 to 440. Because 440 is a Luciferian frequency. It's an easier to control you, to manipulate you frequency through music. Look what we got going on in the music industry, folks. I don't think I have to say any more. But, I am curious to see what everybody's thinking.
Ida had a question
what Ida
for you.
Asked, Ida says, yeah. Did you ever? Oh, no, I didn't get the email, dear. I'm sorry. No, I checked my emails and I didn't get it. Send it to me again with a mailing address, okay? And we'll go from there. Yeah, Catherine, 440. That is the frequency that is everything music-wise. And, music is a big part of even the biblical history. If you think about it, think about this. Music as a whole at a 432 vibrational setting is more of a jovial type of an influence in people's lives. It makes you more receptive to happiness, to calmness, to peace of mind. Whereas 440 frequency is going to keep you on the edge of your seat, have your blood pressure up, make you see things and hear things, and influence your mind to buy things and all that. This is the thing, and the whole reason for even TV being, invented since day one is just an influence. It's a way to influence the masses into being the slaves that we're supposed to be, the good little boys and girls that mind their own business and shut the hell up and don't look over here, but look over there. Okay. And the sooner everybody wakes up, the better it's going to be. And they have had this planned for a very, very long time. I don't know how there's no other way to say it. They, for a long time, it was, oh, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. You don't want to do drugs. Don't get hooked on prescription painkillers and all this. And look what they're feeding people nowadays. We don't go to doctors to be healed. We go to doctors to get prescriptions for pills to make us feel good, but not to cure us, but to make us feel good. It's amazing. And we let them get away with it every minute of the day.
Brainwashed.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's true, Catherine. Yeah. You can. But you know as well as I do, or at least, and Corey knows, and I think Eric knows too, that when it comes to crystals, you influence the crystal too, just as much as outside influences the crystals. And if your life is in turmoil or disarray or at a negative point, that crystal's going to be more of a milky type of a crystal. It's not going to be pure see-through, like it's supposed to be. Okay. So that itself right there tells you that they're doing everything they can to milk up, literally to milk up our lives with all this disarray and keep us, on the edge of our seats and keep us stressed out. And, who cares if a certain percentage of us die off? That's the way they're thinking. Who cares? They'd rather have more people come across, open areas of the country and give them things to help them out. Then that's a way that they control those masses. You think all those masses of peoples, all those millions of people that crossed the open borders came here because they wanted a new life? No, they came here because of the free shit. Okay. I'm saying it like it is. All right. They are being guided just like cattle is guided. The old days in the 1800s when we used to do cattle drives, there'd be 8 to 10 of us, and we'd be on horses and we'd be, gathering the cattle up and finding the strays and stuff and bringing them into the herd, and we'd move in conjunction with it, and we would guide the herd. Okay, we wouldn't push the herd, we would guide them. Okay. That's what the government's doing, the cabal's doing right now, is they're guiding that herd. They're herding that cattle in a certain way, giving them everything they want, giving them the false feeling that they have control of their lives, when in actuality they don't. Nobody does. Okay, it's like that saying that I said once on here, and it is that we don't own our souls, so we can't sign our souls over to the devil. We don't own it. A lot of these people putting up the hand over the eye, or looking at you through the pyramid, they think that's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing, all right. That's the symbolisms of the people that are in control, okay, or should I say the beings that are in control, because I wouldn't even want to categorize them as people, because the people are the cattle. Okay, there's so much that this entails that it's incredibly overwhelming. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Catherine, you're right. That's another thing. I try to stay away from crystals. Too many bad things can come from it.
Yep.
Too many things can influence it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and then
we've
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry, bro. Oh, I'd say, we've proven multiple times
No,
how
go ahead.
stuff's
I'm
been
just
hidden.
rustling around my paper here.
Yeah, we've been proven multiple times how things have been hidden from us, kept from us, or altered so that we won't believe. I mean, it's it's
Uh-oh.
it's it's not uncommon at all. I think we got a glitch, so I hear you talking, I stop talking, bro. So we
Yeah,
got
they're messing
delay.
with the audio because you cut out there for about 30 seconds.
So snow. So let's sit still, bub, or you're gonna be put down. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it's sad. I mean, honest and truly, this is all sad. What the hell's going on? But we have to stand up and take our lives back. All the things
Yeah,
doing
with all
to
they're
us, the
doing
one
to
thing
us, the
that
one thing that's showing us losing babies. Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
and that
That's
jab
very
has
true. And that's another way that they control us. Yeah, that's another way they control us. That's all it is. And it's all about control. It's all about them controlling the masses. Okay. They
the
control us
population.
through music. They control us through movies and TV. They control us through religion. Okay. And they separate us by all those things too. Okay. Think about that. Think about all the separation. It's easier to
You're gonna have
conquer
to sit
the
still. You're gonna have to
masses
get down.
if you ununite them. Because as soon as the masses are united, they become a billion ants that are out of control, that you'll never gain control again if you're only 4,000 individuals or beings that are doing this. Think about it. If the ants in the anthill rebelled against their royalty, the ants would win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't know how much more I can say. You know, it's just the fact of things. You know, they look at themselves as us being the ants, and they are the boot. Okay, and that's the way it's been for the longest time. And like I said, as soon as the last of this great generation dies off, which is very, very soon, then they have the generations that they have been controlling already under their control. And they will be able to manipulate your reality, the things you see in the sky, things you see in the water, the things you see in the woods, the things you see in the shadows. They will be able to manipulate that and use it to their advantage because they're doing it
Mm-hmm.
already.
Yeah.
Nobody's
And
talking
to
about
your
it
comment,
because people are afraid to talk about it. The ones that know, yeah, the ones that know are silenced. So
and to your comment, Roxanne, you ought to do the time frame on your comment on correlation with the jab. That's the whole purpose of that depopulation. And the side effects is exactly what you're talking about.
well, yeah, and they've come up with this new thing too, where there's a new jab coming out, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen here, and I'll show you the map that they have, and it is all about the new. All right, let's get that comment off of there, and let's see. Darn it!
I got it.
All right, there we go. These are all locations that the CDC recently has activated at ports of entry in the United States. Because folks, they just put out the next pandemic. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
called Mpox. Okay, and there was a United flight that had to be diverted last week to Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C., because apparently the whole crew and some of the passengers were violently ill on the flight. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny that was the Mpox, otherwise known previously as the monkeypox. If you recall, too, in the state of Pennsylvania, they had two monkeys escape from a laboratory research vehicle that they were actually testing on. Okay. Whatever happened to those two monkeys? Nobody ever told us. They didn't do a follow up on that
Yeah,
saying, oh, the monkeys were captured and quarantined and killed. No, they didn't. They didn't notify anybody what happened to those monkeys.
mm-hmm. It's always funny how a test animal is always escaping. That is their go-to. Oh, a test animal
This is the
escapes.
map.
We're calling it this.
So take a look at it, folks. If you live near there, yeah, we get the jab. So they control us also through fear. What have we been seeing a lot of lately? Hurricanes, earthquakes, forest fires, volcanic eruptions, seeing all these things. And they are generating all these things. Okay. They are generating all these things to happen. The volcano in
Mm-hmm.
Iceland. You go, oh, well, nobody lives in Iceland. Yeah, some people live in Iceland. Okay, it wouldn't be called a country if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, that's just another way of influencing people through fear. You know, and it doesn't stop there. Okay, with the onslaught of AI, okay, we've got the existence of Elon Musk moving his facility to Texas, and here we go with them messing with the feed. Okay, I'm going to say this
Yep.
as fast as possible. We have Elon Musk in Texas already running one of his plants 24/7 to build robots. Think about it. Okay. With the onslaught of AI, what do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen is this. Okay. This is going to happen. And you can deny it all you want, but this is going to happen. Okay. There's going to come with AI under a matrix type of a setup, almost like a hive mind set. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Okay. We've already got two individuals, okay, that have the neural implanted in their brain already. The first one is processing information through his brain, okay, 9.5, almost 10 times fast possibly could do. Think about that. And he gets faster every single week. We are that far, folks, that far from the whole freaking Terminator thing happening. You know? Let's see here. What else do I? Other influences too. Okay, the other influences are going to be certain areas of our world are going to be labeled certain things. And usually it's going to be labeled under a negative or a dark influence type of a name, okay, for certain sites like Devil's Tower, Devil's Triangle, um, you know, the Alaskan Triangle, you know, the whole concept of having these sites, these ancient sites, read dark, almost demonic type of a naming is incredible. Okay, imagine named that are named like this are basically were basically good at one time. They were places of enlightenment, places where we would go to nurture our soul, to nourish ourselves spiritually. Okay, so that's what we used to be like. Messing with this, they are really messing with us right now. I'm
Yep.
telling you, my camera keeps on cutting out.
Yeah, you're glitching bad.
Anyways, I wanted to put this out there as, yeah, I wanted to put this out there as fast as I could to you guys. And it's going to be a short show tonight because I wanted to get this out there. Think about what I said. Okay. Try to break free from it. When they try to influence you to buy certain products and certain things, don't do it. Try to find a small business person to buy from. Try to, instead of going to the grocery store to get vegetables, go to your local farmer. Go to your local what do they call them? The not a flea market, but the farmers markets. Go to those farmers markets and buy your vegetables and maybe even your beef. Reconnect that. Okay. And also start doing this too. Um, and don't walk outside with shoes on and socks on. Every now and then, walk outside in your bare feet. Let your curl up in the grasses. Okay. Feel those pebbles beneath your feet. Sure, they're going to hurt for a second, but if you do it enough, feet. Think about when you were a child running around outside with no shoes on. You didn't worry about stepping on something. You just ran around to play. You were in your own world. That's how we have against each other, whether it's red or blue. You're going to go the red way or the blue way, and you know what I mean when I say that. Or the right and the left way of doing things, or the black and the white way of doing things. American, okay. Whenever they do this to separate us because we're easier to control. Okay. I don't dislike anybody. Okay. I have a 3 strikes and then you're out rule with me. It takes 3 times for you to mess up with me in order to be off the friends list, if you know what I mean. And I have yet to even do that. I mean, you all have seen me react to people in the chat that basically come to troll us, and then eventually they become chat family members. Okay. It says in the Bible, love thy neighbor as I love thyself. There's a lot of talk lately too about this one world religion, and I can tell you that it's coming. Okay. I've seen and heard things through certain aspects of my life, both in the past and in the present, that makes me aware of what's coming on and where it's going to come from. Okay. And it is basically going to be started by the EU. Okay. And they're going to carry it over to the UN. Okay. And then the UN's going to incorporate it. All right. But it starts with the EU. Okay. And that is why they don't like other countries that aren't part of the EU trying to influence their masses. Okay. Because not only is the United States got itself set in a certain direction right now with the way we're programmed and stuff, and the 5G networks and the 6G networks and all that, and the AI. And I mean, think about it. On your cell phone, do you leave your cell phone on at night next to your bed? Think about it. Those of you that keep your cell phone on at night, next to your bed, if you're going to do that, which I recommend you don't, I would get yourself what they call an EMP pouch, okay, a bag that goes on that you can put your phone in that cuts off all the communication ways of accessing your phone, because your phone when you sleep, if you leave it on charging, you can be influenced through your subconscious that way, through 5G and 6G. Okay. And they have this all mapped out. They've had this mapped out for years now. Okay. You have no idea how long. My guess is, like I said, from 1913 to 1933, they had the initial plans of it to start. From the beginning of the Federal Reserve Bank, when they made the thing where, 1933, the money was no longer backed by gold and silver. Okay. And they decided they were going to take all that gold and silver. Okay. You think there's gold and silver in the Fort Knox? Brother, there ain't been nothing in there in Fort Knox except from the World War II, when our our secret police, CIA or whatever you want to call them at the time, went into Europe and ransacked all of their museums of all the artwork and stuff like that, and artifacts that are now stored in Fort Knox. Yeah, think about that. No more gold and silver in Fort Knox, but yet there's other countries' artifacts and artwork that are valuable, worth billions of dollars in Fort Knox. Okay. So they've had it going for a while. And I just hope that, some of this stuff gets out to people. Some of these people can realize that this has been going on, and can somehow disconnect themselves from the corporations and stuff that control us. And and I'll put some of them up here on the thing. First off, let's just start where we know. This is what President Kennedy wanted to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
President Kennedy wanted to get rid of the CIA, scatter it to the winds.
So did Reagan and Trump and.
Yep. And then you've got the most powerful money grabbers in the planet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look what Berkshire Hathaway did just recently. He sold all of his stocks and invested in gold. Think about that. Berkshire Hathaway, the fourth largest and richest investment firm in the world, sold off all their investments, which caused the stock market to go down. He knows what's coming. Think about all these companies here that are red and blue. Pepsi, Coke, Kellogg's, Mars, Procter Gamble, I mean, there's so many of them, there's 11 of these companies, okay, that control everything. And the cabal has their people in charge of them, just like they have their people in charge of BlackRock and everything else, This is what we're dealing with, folks. Fake food, fake news, fake presidents, fake money, and fake viruses. They are literally playing a game with us. I hate to say it. They are literally playing the game. Anyways, that's all I got tonight. Eric, I don't know if you want to put your thoughts on the thing. I know I've been jabbering on and stuff, but I apologize for that. But I had to get this out tonight. This is just from the research I've done. So,
Yeah. Well, Sickness has a question here. So he goes, so live streaming off of your computer and your phone right now, which is what you're doing, isn't feeding to into the program?
if you're talking about me preaching what I've been preaching, no, it's not feeding into the program. It's trying to get people to disconnect from the program. And those ones that aren't disconnected are going to end up being just sheepless people following their little shepherd. Okay.
And you got to also think of this way: they use tools that we use against us. We need to turn.
Exactly.
Huh. Sounds like a little dog barking outside my window, and my dogs are inside.
Hmm.
I'll check that out here in a minute. As far as your, yeah. Well, last night I was watching Blood In, Blood Out because I haven't seen it in a while, and I heard something I've not heard on this property in a very long time, and that was a dang whippoorwill, and that was at 1:50 in the morning. I was hearing a whippoorwill right outside too. Another thing you guys want to think about, we were talking about, protecting your cell phones. This here is a patch that protects me from EMPs and all that other radio. That thing is, wow, stuff like that. So I mean, it's things you got to look into. Let the games play. That's what we've done since the beginning of time. That's why there's people like us trying to wake people up to the game. Oh, I think that may be backfeed from your speaker. That may be what I'm hearing. Huh. I'll check it out in a little bit.
From my speaker.
On my speaker, I should say. I've got a speaker here to the left, and every now and then I hear something from it. So maybe what I'm listening to. I generally don't. It depends on how I feel in the area. But that's why I got this thing, and I put this on most of my devices. I gotta get some more to get them under everything else. Protects me from 5G, protects me from a lot of other stuff. Because I keep a phone next to me in bed because I'm.
Yeah, Shungite will do the same thing. Shungite will do the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm a first responder, so I got to have my phone on me in case I get called in. So sadly, I sleep with the phone next to my bed. In case there's storms or snow or ice or whatever it is, I got to go in and handle business.
All right.
So,
all right.
But that's just certain things I do to protect myself from that kind of stuff. Because we know 5G is. There's no actual 5G chip in these damn things here. You can break one of these open. There's no 5G chip in there.
It's in the towers.
5G.
It's coming from the towers that are influencing us. And there was a map that I had found online too. I didn't have a chance to upload it today. That shows how we're getting hit with radiation signals also, and how it's influencing a lot of the way people feel. It makes them feel lethargic or just extremely tired and frustrated, stuff like that. And it eventually affects us to the point where it makes us ill, which is what radiation does. Okay. And sound frequencies. There was a guy back in the 1980s. I remember him being on several of the original podcasts and stuff on here, and he actually talked about how the government secret agencies, the three-letter agencies that are part of the special access programs, um,
Mm-hmm.
are were influencing him by shooting sound waves to where he lived 24/7. And people made fun of this guy because he basically called out the government for doing what they're doing, like the MK Ultra stuff. And eventually, the guy was unalived, and they never heard from the guy again because he was unalived. You know, was it the sound
Mm-hmm.
frequencies that they were hitting him with to influence his behavior and his health? Very, very well. It's like the theory that is out there with the jab, okay, having nanobots in it, okay, and how those nanobots can be programmed from, whether it's CIA, the NSA, whoever, okay, has access to program those nanobots to attack certain cells in your body to eventually kill you, to attack certain organs to shut your organs down. This is real stuff, people, okay? And what's my highest concern for humanity? My highest concern for humanity right now is the fact that we're not overpopulated, we're underpopulated. So humanity's not going to be around, after 100 years or so, okay? If we're around at all, even before then, because of AI. All right. My biggest concern with humanity isn't the the global warming. Okay. That's a whole nother can of worms right there. All right. It isn't the fact that we're species selected, handpicked to put underneath a microscope, and this is our petri dish that we're living in. You know, my
Yeah.
my my concerns for humanity is that there's not going to be any more humanity after these things go into effect. That's my concern. And anyone that's not concerned with that can basically, turn the channel.
I know what my biggest concern was for a while is along the same by or same aspects as you, but I know that that's fixing to change here real quick. We're slowly starting to see that. As things get closer to a certain time frame, more and more will be getting seen, and more will be coming out. So I'd have to revert back to probably one of the things that I would say is my biggest concern is something happening and we lose what we've already won, and this pantomime ends up becoming reality.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and those are good questions too. And sickness, those are questions that need to be answered. But unfortunately, having us
Mm-hmm.
answer that when it should be people high up in the control of our country and the control of our population here in this country should be answering those questions. They really
Yep.
should. Instead of trying to pit us against each other through religious beliefs, through age differences, through sexual preference differences, through through voting preferences. I mean, you look at every aspect of our life, and they literally have us separated. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can't even go to the grocery store anymore and just go in and buy something you know that's made in the USA anymore. You got to buy it made in India, or made in Turkey, or processed in Mexico, or Guatemala, or So bypass. My thing is to bypass, and I'm not saying boycott. I'm saying bypass. You don't have to buy from the big 11 corporations every day of your lives. Okay. Instead of going to the local Sheetz gas station or Country Fair gas station or Wawa's or whatever you want to call it, or even Love's truck stops and and all that. Go to your mom and pop gas stations. Go to your small businesses. Go to your farmers markets, your flea markets. Get your stuff from everyday people. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of outlook I have. Okay. Um, because they're trying to limit you. They're trying to get their poisons into your body, and they've succeeded for a while. But slowly but surely, humanity's starting to wake up, and that's the thing. The more people that wake up and pull out of that influence, okay, that digital reality shift, okay, that I call it, the more they do. Well, yeah, I mean, some of them do. You have to,
Got one in Buffalo.
yeah, you just got to do your research on them, and that's all. Um,
You got one. We got one in Buffalo. It's the one I go to all the time.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, and if you can't, if you have to buy it from a Wawa or a Sheetz or whatever gas stations you have, Love's truck stops, if you have to, that's fine too. But we don't have to. If we have an opportunity to go and help out the people that are being hurt the most right now, which is your small business owners, your mom and pop stores and stuff. You know, Places like Walmart and Amazon are shutting them down left and right. And I'm one, I buy from Amazon, but I look for certain items on Amazon that will help me in the long run not be dependent upon the big corporations, if you know what I mean. So I don't, it's just what I do. They're separating us for a reason, ever since the 2020, pandemic, that's just the way it's been. They spaced us out enough between one another that our energies that encompass us about 3 feet around us don't have the ability to touch and interact with the person in front of us or the person behind us because they had this 6 foot rule, okay? Or they scared people so bad they didn't want to leave their homes. Well, and I say it's bullshit.
Yeah.
What they did to us is basically criminal, okay? It really is. It's criminal. It's disgusting and reckless. Because as soon as you get mankind, humanity, to fight one another and to disconnect from one another, they're easier to control. And that's why they did it. And that's why this mpox is coming around now. And that's why that map that I put up there, all the points of entry are going to be CDC monitored. And where they're going to send out the jab, for this new mpox. So I don't know. Is there hope for humanity? It's my question to everybody. Is there hope for humanity?
Yeah, I believe there is. Sickness has another question. What's your thoughts on Antarctica and everything they are hiding? I believe that's where our truth begins, and I'll agree with you. Yeah. There's a lot hidden there.
I'll agree with that too. Yep. Yeah. There's. I mean, how can they? If we were truly free in this world, okay, how can they tell us we can't go to Antarctica? How can they tell us that we're not allowed to put our fly, to fly airplanes over it, or to find certain passageways through with ships? How come they regulate it so tightly? Because they want to hide the fact that there is a beginning there. Okay, there is information there that if we found out that existed, we would definitely rebel against these governments. Okay, because all they've done since World War II is influence us. They brought over the Operation Paperclip Nazi scientists to run our NASA and our medical study stuff, and all of our super secret programs. They basically made America into New Schwabenland. Okay, they basically made American government what the German government was doing. Okay, and secret programs. That's what they did. They didn't, everybody says, "Oh, we won World War II." I got a whole book over here, that my father had from being in World War II, pictures of what happened and stuff over there, you know, stuff that I probably shouldn't have, that tell the truth. And I've come to the conclusion that we didn't win World War II, that it was just we sat down with Hitler and his regime and made a deal that we wouldn't bomb the hell out of them if they would stop doing stupid shit. And we would let them go to Argentina, and we would let them go to the Antarctic, and and do their little Fourth Reich thing, okay?
Hollywood
and Ukraine, right? And also, they went to NASA, they went to DARPA, they went to Montauk
Hollywood.
Island, they went to Hollywood, they went to well, hell, Hitler was even seen with his head of the SS in Glacier National Park because it reminded him of the homeland in the Alps when he was a child. How many people know about that one?
Yeah.
So, I know for a fact, World War II was just a an agreement. That's all it was. It was an agreement.
To your comment, Sickness, I agree with you to a point. Modernized Christianity, I agree with you on that. True Christianity, which to be a Christian, the actual meaning of Christian is to be Christ-like. Means we're supposed to follow the ways of Yeshua. That aspect I don't agree with you on, but I do agree with the modernized. I do.
All right, everybody. Well, this old Indian man has gotten tired, and I want to go to bed. But you know what? Just try doing what I said to do. Just every now, you don't have to do it all the time. Just every now and then, take your shoes off and your socks off and walk around outside. Okay, just make that connection again. Okay, because that's another way they separated us. Okay, and remember that our life is a file. Okay, unscramble the letters of life, and you have the word file. Is it a computer file? It could be influenced through AI and the computer generated, and we could be living in this matrix. Yes. We could be avatars. Yes. Until you break free from their hold. As you break free from their hold, you'll be okay. All right. As always, please like, heart, and share this out. I love the interaction. I love the interaction with everybody in the chat. Love you all very much. Think the world of you. And know that this is just information. Okay, that's all it is. All right. This is information that we deemed that was needed to be talked about. Okay, with everything that's going on in this world. All right. And they keep on dividing us further and further. You know, sad world, man. It's a sad world. But anyways, Eric, what do you got going on this weekend? Anything?
So tomorrow I got campfire chats with Eric and guest. Um, that's at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. On my YouTube channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown. Sunday,
Yeah.
I'm doing a show on the poltergeist, which I'll talk a little bit about some encounters that I just got told about recently. I'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm going to be having that Sunday. If you guys didn't catch, I did a live earlier with me working on one of my books. I was actually working on a short story I finished, and everybody got to listen in while I was editing it. There's a program on Microsoft that reads it out that helps me with editing. I'll put it in the channel sickness. It helps me with the editing. So everybody got to listen to it, and apparently they thought it was an actual real encounter. So apparently I did pretty good at writing it. That's about it. I know it was a pretty good little live earlier I did.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Now this weekend, tomorrow morning, we've got at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we've got Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show, which is our coffee program that Eric and I put on. And one of the subjects for this weekend is going to start out about mummies, not daddies, but mummies. Okay, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting, and then we'll get into all kinds of weird stuff. Whether it be supernatural, paranormal, or cryptid, we'll get into it. Okay, so please, everybody, I hope everybody just got something out of this. To at least try to enlighten one another and watch out for one another, because the way things are going, I just I don't see it happening in a good way. So everybody be safe out there. Um, like I said, walk around with your bare feet outside for every now and then. It's just a way that we reconnect, a way that we stay grounded. So that being said, we love you guys very much, and we'll see you all in the morning at 11 a.m. Okay. Until then, everybody, you take care.
Peace. Love and blessings, everyone.